Today lesson improve your English speaking skills every day. Speaking head tips to speak English fluently plus real conversation practice hosts, James and Olivia.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm James.
And I'm Olivia. Today we're talking about something so many of our listeners ask us about.
Yep, how to improve your English speaking skills every single day. Not just studying grammar books, not just memorizing vocabulary lists, but actually speaking, confidently, naturally, like a real person having a real conversation.
Exactly. Because here's the thing, you can know 1,000 words and every grammar rule in the book, but if you freeze up the moment someone says, "Hi, how are you?" then all that knowledge isn't doing much for you in the moment that matters.
Right, speaking is a skill, not just knowledge. And skills need practice, repetition, and, this is the part people forget, a little bit of comfort with making mistakes.
So today we've got a full toolkit for you. We're going to walk through daily habits that build real speaking fluency, and then near the end, we'll actually demonstrate a few conversation practices live, right here, so you can hear what natural English sounds like in different situations.
Let's get into it.
Let's start with a question I get a lot. James, I've studied English for 10 years. I can read novels, I can write essays, but when I open my mouth, nothing comes out smoothly. Why?
That's such a common experience, and it's not because you're bad at English. It's because reading, writing, and speaking are different skills that use different parts of your brain.
Think about it like this, imagine someone who has read hundreds of books about swimming. They know the physics of buoyancy, the mechanics of the perfect stroke, the breathing patterns of Olympic swimmers.
But if you throw them in a pool for the first time, they are going to struggle. Because knowing about swimming and being able to swim are two completely different things.
Speaking English is exactly the same. Your brain needs to build what we call muscle memory, except it's your mouth, your tongue, and your thinking speed that need training, not your muscles.
And that muscle memory only comes from one place, actually speaking. Repeatedly. Every day. Even when it feels awkward.
So today's episode isn't about grammar rules. It's about building a daily habit, small, consistent actions that train your brain to produce English automatically, without translating everything in your head first.
Because that's the real goal, right? Not translating. Thinking directly in English.
Exactly. Let's break down how to get there.
Our first tip might surprise people because it's not really speaking practice at all, it's thinking practice.
Right. A lot of learners translate everything in their head. They think a sentence in their native language, mentally translate it word by word, and then say it out loud in English. That process is slow, and it makes you sound hesitant even if your grammar is correct.
So instead, try narrating your day in English inside your head. When you're making coffee, think, "I'm pouring the water now. It smells so good this morning." When you're walking to work, think, "It's a bit cold today, I should have worn a jacket."
It sounds simple, but it rewires your brain to generate English thoughts directly, without that translation step in between.
And you can start small, 5 minutes a day, just narrating whatever you're doing. Cooking, cleaning, commuting, doesn't matter.
The goal isn't perfection. The goal is speed and automatic thinking.
This one feels a little strange for a lot of people at first, but trust us, it works.
Talking to yourself out loud, in English, whether you're alone in your room, in the shower, or driving your car.
It removes the fear factor. There's no listener judging you, no pressure, no anxiety about making a mistake. You can just practice forming sentences with your mouth.
I used to do this when I was learning Spanish, actually. I'd describe my plans for the day out loud. Okay, first I need to go to the store, then I'll call my sister, and after that.
And what happens is, your mouth gets used to producing the sounds, the rhythm, the intonation of the language, without the added stress of a real conversation partner.
It's like a warm-up before the real workout. Athletes stretch before a game. This is your speaking stretch.
Okay, this next one is probably the single most effective technique we recommend, and it's called shadowing.
Shadowing means listening to a native speaker, in a podcast, a movie, a YouTube video, and repeating what they say, at the same time as them, trying to match their pace, their rhythm, their pronunciation.
Not after they finish the sentence. At the same time. It sounds hard, and honestly, it is hard at first. But that's exactly why it works so well.
It trains your ear and your mouth simultaneously. You start to absorb natural intonation patterns, where native speakers pause, where they stress certain words, how they connect sounds between words.
For example, native speakers don't say, "What are you doing?" with each word separate. It comes out more like, "What are you doing?" And you'll never learn that from a textbook. You learn it by shadowing real speech.
Start with something short, a 1-minute clip. Play it, pause, try to repeat exactly what you heard. Then play it again and try to shadow it in real time.
Do this daily with new content, even just 5 or 10 minutes, and within a few weeks you'll notice your rhythm and pronunciation improving dramatically.
Here's a tip that a lot of people avoid because it feels uncomfortable: recording your own voice.
Nobody loves hearing their own voice played back, right? But it's one of the fastest ways to identify what you actually need to work on.
Pick a topic, anything, your weekend plans, a movie you watched, your opinion on a news story, and talk about it for 1 or 2 minutes while recording yourself on your phone.
Then listen back. You'll notice things you didn't notice while speaking. Maybe you say, too often. Maybe you mispronounce a specific sound. Maybe your sentences are grammatically fine but sound choppy instead of smooth.
And here's the powerful part: do this once a week, and keep the old recordings. After a month, listen to your very first recording again.
The improvement is almost always noticeable, and that's incredibly motivating. It's proof, real audible proof, that your daily effort is paying off.
This tip changes how you study vocabulary altogether.
Instead of memoizing single words like decision, make, and hard, learn the whole natural phrase, "It's a tough decision to make."
Native speakers don't build sentences word by word in real time, they store and retrieve entire chunks of language. Phrases like "to be honest, as far as I know, I couldn't agree more, it's up to you."
When you learn in chunks, you speak faster and sound more natural, because your brain doesn't have to construct the sentence piece by piece, it just pulls out a ready-made phrase.
So next time you're studying vocabulary, don't just write down a single word. Search for how that word is commonly used in a sentence, and memorize the whole expression.
A good way to build this habit is to keep a small notebook, physical or digital, of useful phrases you hear in shows, podcasts, or conversations, and review them daily.
Now, obviously, real conversation practice is essential, and a lot of learners worry, "But I don't have any native English speakers around me."
That's okay. Practicing with another learner, someone at a similar level, is still incredibly valuable. You're both building the same muscle.
There are also language exchange apps and websites where you can find conversation partners, people learning your native language who want to practice, in exchange for helping you practice English.
The key is consistency over perfection. Even 15 minutes of conversation, 3 or 4 times a week, builds real momentum.
And don't be afraid to use conversation prompts if you get stuck. Questions like, "What's the best trip you've ever taken?" or "If you could change one thing about your city, what would it be?" These keep the conversation flowing naturally.
This tip is simple, but very effective: reading out loud, even for just 10 minutes a day.
You can read anything: a news article, a chapter from a novel, a blog post, even a recipe. The point is to practice producing the physical sounds of English consistently.
Reading aloud trains your mouth muscles for pronunciation, and it builds fluency because you're forced to keep pace with written sentences, rather than pausing to think about what to say next, like in a real conversation.
It's also a fantastic way to notice pronunciation patterns, silent letters, stress patterns, word endings that get dropped in casual speech.
A great trick is to record yourself reading the same paragraph, then find an audio version if one exists, an audiobook, a podcast script, and compare your pronunciation and pacing to the native speakers.
A lot of learners watch English shows and think that's enough. And it helps, but only if you watch actively.
Passive watching, where you just relax and enjoy the story with subtitles in your native language, is fine for entertainment, but it won't dramatically improve your speaking.
Active watching means turning on English subtitles, pausing when you hear an interesting phrase, repeating it out loud, and maybe even writing it down.
Pick short clips, 3 to 5 minutes, and watch them multiple times. First time, just understand the general meaning. Second time, focus on specific phrases. Third time, try shadowing the dialogue.
Sitcoms are great for this because they're full of natural, everyday conversation, greetings, jokes, arguments, small talk. It's basically a free conversation textbook.
If you really want to push your fluency forward, find a speaking group, whether that's in person or online.
Many cities have free English conversation meetups. And if there isn't one near you, there are online communities and video call groups specifically designed for English learners to practice speaking together.
What makes these groups so valuable is the social pressure, in a good way. When you know you're going to speak with real people on a schedule, you actually prepare, and you push through the nervousness because everyone in the group is in the same boat.
And it's not just about grammar correction. It's about getting comfortable with the feeling of real-time conversation, the pauses, the interruptions, the need to think on your feet.
Our final daily habit isn't really an action, it's a mindset shift, and honestly, it might be the most important tip of all.
So many learners avoid speaking because they're afraid of making mistakes. But here's the truth, mistakes are not a sign that you're bad at English. They're proof that you're actively learning.
Every fluent speaker you admire, in any language, made thousands of mistakes along the way. Fluency isn't the absence of errors, it's the ability to keep communicating despite them.
A trick that helps a lot of our listeners is this: before a conversation, tell yourself, I will make mistakes today, and that's exactly what's supposed to happen. It removes the pressure of perfection.
And honestly, native speakers are usually far more forgiving and encouraging than learners expect. Most people are just happy you're making the effort to speak their language.
So the daily habit here is simple: speak first, worry about perfect grammar later. Confidence and momentum matter more than perfection in the early stages.
Alright, now for the part a lot of you have been waiting for, let's actually demonstrate some real conversation practice. We're going to go through a few common situations, so you can hear natural rhythm, useful phrases, and how a real conversation actually flows.
Let's start with something everyone deals with: small talk with a stranger or coworker.
As coworker, morning, Olivia. Rough start to the week, huh?
As coworker, tell me about it. I completely overslept today, my alarm didn't go off for some reason.
Oh no, that's the worst. Did you at least manage to grab coffee before the meeting?
Barely. I basically ran out the door with it in my hand. How about you? How was your weekend?
Pretty relaxed, actually. I just stayed in, caught up on some shows. Nothing too exciting.
Sounds nice, honestly. Sometimes a quiet weekend is exactly what you need.
Breaking character, see how natural that felt. Notice we used phrases like, tell me about it, rough start to the week, stayed in. These are the exact kinds of natural expressions you want to collect and practice.
And notice the rhythm: short questions, short answers, and natural back and forth. That's what real small talk sounds like, not long formal sentences.
As waiter, hi there, welcome in. Just the two of you today.
As customer, yes, that's right, just us.
Great, right this way. Here are your menus, can I start you off with something to drink?
Sure, could I get a water with lemon, please?
Of course. And for you, sir?
Switching roles playfully, I'll take an iced tea, thanks.
Perfect, I'll be right back with those. Take your time looking over the menu. Pause. As waiter, alright, have we decided?
Yes, I think I'll go with the grilled salmon, and could I get the side salad instead of fries?
Absolutely, no problem at all. And for you?
I'll have the cheeseburger, medium, with fries is fine.
Great choices. I'll get that started for you right away. Breaking character, notice the polite structures. Could I get, I think I'll go with, is fine. These soft, indirect phrases are very common in English, especially in service situations. Native speakers rarely say blunt commands like, give me the burger.
Exactly, politeness markers matter a lot in English conversation, and practicing scenarios like this helps you build automatic, polite responses without having to think about them in the moment. As interviewer, so, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in this position.
As candidate, sure, thank you for asking. I've been working in customer service for about 3 years now, and I've always enjoyed the problem-solving side of it, figuring out how to turn a frustrated customer into a satisfied one. I saw this role and felt like it was a natural next step for me, especially since it involves more direct communication with clients.
That's great to hear. Can you walk me through a time you handled a difficult situation at work?
Of course. There was a time a client was really upset because of a shipping delay that wasn't even our fault, but I understood why they were frustrated. So I calmly explained the situation, offered a discount on their next order, and made sure to follow up personally once the issue was resolved. By the end of the call, they actually thanked me for how I handled it.
That's a fantastic example. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, actually, what does a typical day look like for someone in this role?
Breaking character, great question to end on. By the way, always have a question ready for the interviewer, it shows genuine interest.
Breaking character, and notice the structure here, walk me through the situation. By the end of the call, these are professional phrases worth practicing specifically if you're preparing for interviews or workplace English. Hey, are you free this weekend? I was thinking we could check out that new hiking trail everyone's been talking about.
Ooh, that sounds fun actually. Saturday or Sunday works better for me?
Either is fine on my end, honestly. What's your schedule looking like?
I've got a few errands to run Saturday morning, but I should be free by the afternoon.
Perfect, let's do Saturday afternoon then. Should we grab lunch before or after the hike?
Definitely after, I don't want to hike on a full stomach.
Fair enough. I'll text you the trail details later, and we can figure out a time.
Sounds good, looking forward to it.
Breaking character, this one's a great example of casual, friendly negotiation, works better for me, either is fine on my end, fair enough. These softer negotiation phrases are super common when making plans with friends.
And notice there's no stiff formality here, it's relaxed, quick, natural. That's the tone you want for casual conversations with friends. Honestly, I think we should go with the second design option. It just feels cleaner.
I see what you mean, but I actually lean more towards the first one. I feel like it communicates the message a bit more clearly.
That's fair, I hadn't thought about it that way. What if we combined elements from both?
Actually, that could work really well. Let's mock it up and see how it looks.
Breaking character, this is such an important skill, disagreeing without conflict. Phrases like I see what you mean, but, that's fair, and what if we allow you to express a different opinion while still sounding respectful and collaborative?
In a lot of cultures, directly saying no, you're wrong can feel harsh in English conversation. Softening your disagreement like this is a very natural, very native way to communicate. Okay, so we've covered a lot today. Let's simplify it into something practical you can actually start tomorrow morning.
Here's a sample daily routine, and it only takes about 30 to 40 minutes total, broken up throughout your day.
Morning, 5 minutes of thinking in English while you get ready. Just narrate your actions silently or quietly.
Midday, 10 minutes of shadowing practice with a short podcast or video clip during your lunch break.
Afternoon, read one short article out loud, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, focusing on pronunciation and rhythm.
Evening, 10 to 15 minutes of actual conversation practice, whether that's with a language partner, a study group, or even talking to yourself about your day.
And once a week, record yourself speaking about a topic for a couple of minutes, and review it to track your progress.
The most important thing here isn't intensity, it's consistency. 30 minutes every single day will get you further than 3 hours once a week.
Exactly, because speaking fluency is built through repetition, not cramming.
Before we wrap up, I just want to say, if you're listening to this and you feel discouraged because your English still doesn't feel good enough, please remember something important.
Every single fluent speaker started exactly where you are now. Nobody is born speaking a second language fluently. It's built, piece by piece, mistake by mistake, conversation by conversation.
And the fact that you're taking time to actively learn, listening to podcasts like this one, practicing daily, pushing yourself to speak even when it's uncomfortable, that already puts you ahead of so many people who just wish they were fluent without doing the work.
So here's your homework for today. Pick just one tip from this episode. Maybe it's shadowing, maybe it's talking to yourself, maybe it's recording your voice, and commit to doing it every day this week.
Don't try to do all 10 at once. Start small, build the habit, and let it grow naturally from there.
And remember, speaking English isn't about sounding perfect. It's about connecting with people, sharing your ideas, and being understood.
Every conversation, even the awkward ones, even the ones with mistakes, is a step forward.
That's it for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening.
If you found this helpful, share it with a friend who's also learning English. Practicing together makes everything easier.
We'll see you next time. Until then, keep speaking, keep practicing, and don't be afraid of a few mistakes along the way.
Bye for now.
Bye everyone.